Hello, everybody. My name is Michael DiGioia. I'm the Director of Institutional Sales here at DAS Trader, and I'm going to be talking to you and showing you how to configure your chart window on the DAS Trader Pro platform, how to link the charts together. I'm going to go through a couple of different studies in the DAS Trader Pro chart window, as well as linking it to your level 2 screen. I mean, this is just basic multi-time frame analysis using the DAS Trader Pro charting applications. So let's get started. Charts are generated from quotes. So we go right here to the quotes window and we click on chart. And when I get my chart, it's just a plain non-configured chart, totally vanilla. And I'm gonna make it big so I can see it nice and clear and easy. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna go to configure. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add back my horizontal line on grid settings. We're also going to add in here the day separator and the market on open line. And these are just important numbers that we want to visually keep track of during the trading day. Now, the next thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to also bump up the size of my font to an 8. I'm also going to bump up the label font to an 8. Okay. And from here, I'm going to, I think that's all I need to do right now to configure at the moment. I don't really need to do anything else. I think we're all good. Everything's fine. Everything's clear. Okay, so we did everything that we need to do on the configure lines. Now here, this is just tells you where your trading tip would be. This is the size of your margins if you want to change the size of the side windows. Let's see what happens when we click on OK. Now we can see our chart data. We have our grid lines. The reason I like horizontal grid lines is because I could see the price data perfectly, meaning I can just go straight across to the price data and I can just see where it, where it goes from there. So that's very important to see your prices and your times. Now, obviously, you could also put on vertical lines and configure. Just go to vertical. Right, there's your vertical lines. Now you can see at 7:15, at 7:30, exactly what the prices were doing. But to me, it gets a little bit crowded. So, and I don't really worry about the time so much. I'm more interested in the price levels. So I usually just leave them off. Okay. So next, I'm just going to add some studies. And I'm going to put on here, first I'm going to check the price. I like, instead of blue, I like the line color gray. It's a little more subtle, but you could certainly leave it blue if you'd like. Now you can go to study configs. And I only put moving averages on my chart. So I'm going to put on 3 moving averages and I'm going to configure them to the 10. The 20. Okay, so now I got the one thing I'm going to change though is I'm going to change that one red moving average. It's a little too red. I like to have all the colors to be colors that aren't the same colors as the chart bars, like the green and the red for the chart bars. All right, so now I have some nice moving averages. I have my grid lines. The last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to click here on the price bar volume data. Okay, so red up, blue down, all good. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Looking good. All right, so we have our price, our color-coded candlesticks, our color-coded volume. We have our moving averages. I like my chart. So now the last thing I do is I save my settings, okay? Mike 3MA. Okay, so that's Mike's 3MA chart, and I'm going to just save that. All right. Now I'm going to shrink this up. I'm going to put this back into a smaller window, and I'm going to put my chart next to my level 2 screen. And I'm going to explain why I do that. I'm just going to bring my next window up. I'm going to have my time and sales. And I want to explain why I put it like this, because this is my time and sales. Those are trades that are completed. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to put on a list of stocks. I'll put my montage on here. And I'm just going to link some charts to the bottom, the main time frame charts that are going to be configured. And I'm going to also show you how to configure a few different windows. Okay. So here we go, SPY. Okay, I'm just going to grab this anchor. Okay, and I'm going to drag the anchor and I'm going to drop it right there. So grab the anchor, drop it to the chart. As you can see, the market is just selling off very, very rapidly at the moment. It's just a very clear downtrend and selling off pretty rapidly. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because I want to have room for a couple more time frames right below here. So once I've configured my chart once and I've linked it to the level 2 screen, so the montage window that I've wanted to link it to, it's very easy to configure new charts because I just go to chart, right click, and I go load settings. And I'm going to go Mike 3MA. Okay. And then my chart should come up. I'm just going to put on the SPY. But this time I'm not going to keep it at a 1 minute. I want to have a 5 minute. Okay. I'm going to put my 5 minute on here. And I'm going to put my 5 minute closer to here. And I'm going to make it so that I can have literally 3 charts right next to each other. SPY, load. I got my settings loaded up. I'm going to put a 15 minute on there. We can see now that the market gapped up and then faded that whole huge gap because we're seeing it on the 1 minute just as a downtrend. On the 5 minute, we can see pretty clearly that we faded the whole gap. But on the 15 minute, we can see that it came right into yesterday's levels, right? So that's the levels from yesterday and the day before and the prior day's open and close. So this was the gap up and then sell off. That's the post market. That's the pre-market. So we're just seeing how it's negotiating with different price levels. And this is why we look at market data in multiple time frames. I just brought up my last chart. Now notice how easy it is for me to load my chart settings. Once I've configured the chart once, it's very easy to bring up the chart for the next window. And here we have it. So now I have my daily chart as well. So everything is configured. I got my 1 minute, my main trading time frame. I'm going to take this and make it a little bit smaller because I want to add a list of stocks. Okay. And that's going to be the last little thing, my list of stocks that I'm going to add. Let's just go. I'm going to go to my quotes window and I'm going to go to my market viewer and I'm just going to bring up a great market, said, many people use the Dow 30, pretty much a broad-based list of stocks. Some people would say the NASDAQ 100 if you're mainly trading technology stocks. I'm just going to link this to our window. Okay, and I'm going to just grab this. Okay, so now if I just double click on Apple, it changes that chart. So I need to make sure all my chart windows are linked, linked, and linked. Okay, so now everything's linked. Now if I click, now I test it. Boom. Boom. Boeing. Caterpillar. Cisco. CVX. DD. Disney. All right, so now I have everything linked. Now the next thing I do is I save my layout. Save my desktop. And I'm going to call this my chart MJD. Scanning. Scan layout. Okay, MJD scan layout. Okay, so now the reason I call it my scan layout is if I want to scan through my charts, I just go, I have one market viewer, and I can quickly scan through my charts, and I have all my time frames right here. All right, so I just want to do one more thing, and I'm just going to pop up this chart, make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to put this back to the SPY for a second. And I'm just going to show us how we can use some of the other tools in the charts like a trend line. So I'm just going to draw a trend line. And I'm just configuring the trend line. So there's the line style. I can make the width a little bit bigger. Okay, so there's my trend line. I could also add in horizontal lines. So like if this is the low of the day, that's my horizontal line indicating that it's the low of the day. I'm going to show you what other studies that we have. So in terms of studies, and this is something I'll go through in a future video, we can also do RSI, momentum. We can do Bollinger Bands, envelopes, the Commodity Channel Index or CCI, MACD, Moving Average Convergence Divergence. We can do Williams percent R. We can do linear regression lines. We could do VWAP, volume weighted average price. I know a lot of people like using VWAP as an indication as to where price might gravitate back to. Moving average pairs. I mean, so you have a lot of options here for different studies. And I can do future videos on the individual configuring of studies if that's what you would like me to do. But either way, that's the be all and the end all of this session. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found our session in configuring charts on the Dash Trader Pro platform helpful and using those charts in multiple time frames. Certainly join me and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to focus on. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.